So let me talk a little bit about how I'm going to train these vines. Right, so this particular grape I'm going to train to a top wire. So there's various ways you can do it. Top wire cordon, there's vertical shoot position, there's all sorts. But these, and usually when you buy your grapes, it'll tell you which they prefer. And so these I want to do as a top wire. And that's kind of how I've done the muscadines over there, right? So you can see the top wire that runs across. And so usually I want that to be 5.5 to 6 feet high, right? And so what I want to concentrate on with these is I just want them to grow up right now, right? So what I will probably need to do is come in here and remove some of this growth, right? I just want it to keep growing this way. And this is another thing I mean by, if you just know a little bit about plant anatomy, then pruning, it becomes all the same thing, right? So if, for instance, if this was a tomato, right, you would call that a sucker, right? It's just, I mean, it's just axillary growth. It's just branching, right? And it's all the same. It doesn't matter what the plant is, right? And so if I want this thing to continue to grow up and not bush out, well, I'll just come in here and I'll pinch that out. And everywhere where a leaf meets the stem, right, you're gonna have that, right? So you'll have what's called the leaf, the node, and the internode, right? The leaf, the node, and the internode. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of plant you're talking about, you're gonna see that kind of variation. Again, tomatoes, grapes, it doesn't matter, right? So right now, for instance, if this was a grape, I'm coming in and I'm pulling out these suckers, that's what you call them, so that my plants grow taller first, right? And so that's, I'll keep doing that until these grow up to get to about 6 feet. And then, once they get up here to about 6 feet, I'll show you on the muscadines. Right, and so you can imagine this was the growth. I allowed it to get to 6 feet, and then I train it out the wire. Right, and once I trained it out the wire, right, you can imagine way early on I trained it this far out the wire, and I just pinched that off there, and then that allows it to grow essentially what would be the axillary stuff, right, or the side growth or the suckers. Right, because now the quote-unquote suckers is what's going to produce your grapes. Right, so if you know a little bit about plant anatomy, then it doesn't take much to figure out how to do pruning. Right, this is a different grape, and I'm gonna train these to vertical shoot position. So I'm only gonna grow these up 4 feet, but still I would do the same thing. I would come in here and I look to see where any side growths are, and I'll end up pinching those off. Something else you can see here, if you notice, that's a tendril. Tendrils are just modified leaves, right? And they're just used to grab on to things. It doesn't really bother me that they're there now. Right, here's another one. Right, so I just come in here and look, see if there's any growth that I want to pinch off. Right, but it's all the same. Grapes, tomatoes, it doesn't matter.